All the SuperGP action is proudly brought to you by Diode and their associate sponsors. If you're in Cape Town, of course, the big man and always a man at the front end of the field will be Lance Isaacs. He'll be looking to take his BMW to the front end and take on all of the very dominant Yamahas from last year. The champion is gone. Matthew Scholz is overseas on international duties, so the number one plate is very much up for grabs. And let's see who's going to be able to take it. Will it be Michael White? Are we going to see Kinsella back at the number one plate? Or will Lance Isaacs bring the BMW brigade along for the ride? We're definitely in for a great season. And a big welcome to BMW for bringing on the Motorrad Rider of the Day. Final bits of preparation now. You can see these boys are all ready to go. A couple of new riders, a couple of changes in the teams. Greg Killarney is fired up. Sella is certainly fired up. And we'll be looking to take that number one plate back again. But when you look at the way things line up, Clint Sella has gone and done it all right. David McFadden is extremely close to him in second place.
Great to see him back. Great
and Kildernace on the front row. So we've got Yamaha versus BMW versus Kawasaki for the first three bikes.
Yeah, how is that front row though? Clint Sella, Dave McFadden, international experience. A couple of times South African champion. Greg Killarney, international experience. 3-time SA champ. So really is a packed grid here. There's AJ Fenton. Let's see. It's Sella, McFadden, Killarney, Slamet, the local man, up in fourth place. Darren Upton, watch out for him. Lance Isaacs, the second of the BMW riders. Michael White, not where he wants to be there in seventh place. Trevor Westman, another local flavour there. Carrick Flock, Alan John Fenter, Brandon Good, Andre Calvert on the Ducati. Welcome to him. Nicholas Kershaw, Dale Field, and Gareth Larrick rounding out your top 15 as the lights go out. It looks like it is the My Way man having it all his own way at the moment as he heads into turn number one in first place. Greg Killarney on the new Kawasaki RR machine, so watch out for extra couple of ponies there from that man. Not the start that Lance Isaacs would have wanted on the Superbets BMW, and David McFadden already trying to make a move up there into third place, and he slots that BMW. Great to have McFadden back in a full season of SuperGP racing on that BMW. Can they finally challenge the likes of the Yamaha and the Kawasaki machines out front?
Oh, it's early days in the season, but early days is what you need to get the big championship points in, because this championship, as we know, only went down to a couple and sometimes even down to 1 point by the time we close the season off. The rest of the field comes streaming through there, just picking up on a few riders. Nice to see Heinrich Rieder back in as well. Johnny Cricker, part and parcel, and right at the back, the second Superbet BMW there. And I tell you what, Justin Gillison has got some good turn of pace and a good welcome return for him after a season off last year.
Kinsella has pretty much dominated so far this weekend in all the free practice and qualifying sessions. The lap times coming out of that man is incredible, down in the low 1 minute 10s. So that's lap record stuff from Kinsella, even with all the factors coming into account, the likes of the wind, the track conditions. So really, Sella, he wants that number one plate back. Look at David McFadden. He sees the My Way bike out front and he knows that he cannot give him too much of a buffer. So that's McFadden up into second. Great start this from Darren Upton there in fourth place, just ahead of Michael White, who's got a lot of work to do. Remember, second in the championship last year on the consortium shipping Yamaha, so he wants to be a lot further up. Superbets BMW man Lance Isaacs, another bit of local flavour there, not where he wants to be, but we know how good he is. He'll be using the experience that he's got to close down on the riders ahead of him as the race goes on.
Magic Mike having a big look there on the 6.6 bike, but can't quite make it stick on Upton just yet. It's Hygienica and Lacquer Racing there right behind them. Problems there for the 43 machine, unfortunately. That's Gerard Visser, so it's actually 143's running there. He's got a little 1 on it because of course we got 243s in this race. So 143 Gerard Visser with some problems, and hopefully he'll get that all sorted out. He's part of the Samurai team, so I think we'll see him back for race number 2. Now they come under braking down into turn number 5, Cape Town corner. Magic Mike looking to go up the inside, couldn't quite make it stick. Alan John Fenter trying to close down on the back end of Isaacs. Isaacs is the man in his sights. Behind him is Trevor Westman, the Mad Max Kawasaki man, another local man who is in the hunt at the front end here. Not quite with the first two, but certainly the second pack of riders starting to close up on each other and starting to mix it up. Oh, a mistake there. I wonder if Upton's got a problem there. Upton just getting completely out of shape, and hopefully that's not going to be terminal for him as he comes out. He's losing ground there to Lance Isaacs as well. He's lost ground to Isaacs. Isaacs is through, and he's now being closed down by Alan John Fenter.
Yeah, that's the experience of Lance Isaacs. 2 places in 2 corners. So Darren Upton has lost out there big time as he comes now through. It's fast, flat out stuff through the left-hander, but not looking too happy on that bike is Darren Upton. You can see he's going really defensive. You've got Trevor Westman, first of your regional riders, and another local rider right on his tail, AJ Fenter, Andre Calvert on the Ducati, not too far behind them. But there we go, Darren Upton, yeah, he's slowing up. There's some terminal problem with that new Kawasaki machine of his. So unfortunately, after a tremendous start there for Darren Upton, he is out of the race. And Ivan Fanikaki, his stablemate, also unfortunately problems with his Kawasaki, so not making the start of this race.
They come down on the braking markers. Magic Mike starting to close in and fighting hard there with Lance Isaacs. Isaacs wants to bridge the gap. He needs to get a little bit higher up there. He wants to close down on Greg Killarney, who sits in third place. Remember, those two had a fantastic battle at Killarney, and Isaacs won one, and of course Killarney won one. Greg Killarney still getting to grips. I know that Noddy and, in fact, Doug Lang from the Suzuki team climbed onto that RR overnight to try and make sure that Greg Killarney had the pace that he needed to run at the front. And it looks like it's working really well. Between those two boys, they've got this little RR sorted out.
Yeah, Greg, watch out. As the season progresses on that new RR machine, he'll definitely find a little bit more pace. Gav Lightfoot from Kawasaki is also here helping out with that bike, so it's definitely more pace to come from the likes of Greg Killarney. Lance Isaacs now, he's got ahead of Michael White. Michael White unable to stay with the pace of the Superbets BMW man. Much better ride this from the BMWs. We've got Dave McFadden up into second, and Lance Isaacs now challenging and charging down on Greg Killarney. So we could potentially have two BMWs on the podium. That'll be a much better run, especially now with the new BMW Motorrad Award up for grabs. Those riders will really be wanting to get as high as possible. Remember, Isaac's also leading out in the Masters category on track at the moment, but he'll definitely want to finish in the podium position. Towards the end of last year, Isaac said it's nice winning the Masters category, but he wants to get on the Super GP podium.
And he's definitely got what it takes to do that here, particularly at his home track. So if one circuit he's going to do it at, it's going to be here. Trevor Westman looking very tasty there on the Mad Max Kawasaki. Goes through KFM corner. When they come down the KFM straight, they actually go flying past the Mad Max VIP Boma. And those boys and girls that are there are going to be shouting hard like they were earlier on for Waza Guantaro, his teammate, and of course Jacques Ackerman, another man that we didn't quite mention in the 600s because he wasn't quite up there, but certainly has got what it takes in terms of the local classes here with the Mike Hopkins series. They're all part and parcel of Super GP here this weekend, and you can see just how hard they're working. Here comes Ronald Slammett, another Cape Town local. And of course the Red Baron has a massive following here too. He's trying to close down on AJ Fenter. Alan John doing a super job. Top rider there for the Hygienica Racing Machine.
Yeah, welcome return to Nick Kershaw. He's just behind those riders, so on an R1 machine for this season, as well. Andre Calvert on the Ducati, a great job in the top 10 at the moment. Alex van der Berg also on an R1 machine. Gareth Laverick, Carrick Flock making the switch from BMW to Yamaha for the season on Shop 74. Heinrich Rieder, an incredible job in the top 15. Dylan Barnard, the second of the consortium shipping bikes. Ricky Lee Weir also on a Yamaha for the year, as is Hendrik de Bruin. So great racing all the way through the field here. Those R1s sound so beautiful as they come down the Cape Town straight here for the 10th time of asking, as it looks like there David McFadden is still in a comfortable second, but Greg Killarney, I hope his pit board's selling him, because he's got a very fast Superbets BMW rider now closing down that gap for the final position in third.
Isaacs on that last pass was second fastest lap time. The fastest lap came out of our leader, and in fact it's an unofficial right now new lap record there of a 10.2.
Oh, man.
A 1 minute 10.2 for Sella, and that incredibly, Rob, is the third fastest outright lap time ever on any machine around this track. So definitely something to watch out for. The My Way boys are going well here, and here in Super GP it looks like Sella, he means business and he wants back the number one plate.
Yeah, Sella did have his nose put out of joint a little bit last year from Matthew Skoltz. Although Sella was pretty much the fastest rider, made too many mistakes last year, and Matthew Skoltz took full advantage, and he's taken that number one plate over to the States with him. So watch out for Matty Skoltz on Facebook. Keep up with his racing as well as in Ride Fast magazine. But this man, Clint Sella, with a new sponsor, My Way, he wants to bring the number one plate back and start off the season with 50 points. And at the moment, going about his job to perfection. No answer from David McFadden in second, but this will be a great ride from McFadden. If he can pick up 20 points here in race number 1 and get closer in race number 2, that'll be a good start to the season, because he's also got to turn a pace at the likes of PE East London. Watch out for the BMW riders, because that 200 plus horsepower machine, they'll really get to stretch their legs there. That's the next round we go to, remember, the Bike Festival as well. So it's going to be a weekend full of entertainment for the whole family, so get down there at the end of April.
Yeah, Africa Bike Week is moving its way down to the East Coast and to East London Grand Prix circuit. It'll be part and parcel of our entire week's festivities. We've got bands, we've got activities for the kids, and Super GP will be in the house on Saturday racing hard. You'll get to meet up with the riders on Thursday night as well at a function that they're having there with the Parlotones. So definitely something you don't want to miss out on as they head down here. Speaking of closing in though, Lance Isaacs is right up the exhaust pipe there of Greg Killarney, and I think Killarney's days are numbered here in Cape Town. The local man, Sir Lancelot, with a huge following down here in Cape Town, is looking to get up onto that overall podium and make it 2 BMWs on that podium as well.
I've just tested the Kawasaki, the new RR machine, Kawasaki's demo, and it really is a big improvement on the base ZX-10R. So Greg Caldenace, even though that bike is better, I know he had a couple of issues with the power commander system in the practice sessions, so maybe just struggling with something there, because certainly Lance Isaacs on the Superbets bike has come and closed down that gap, but no one can touch bike number 3, the My Way Clint Seller. And look how smooth he is. I always watch Clint Seller and think, how are you going so fast? Because he just doesn't seem as fast as the other riders. It's not elbow hanging off style from Clint Seller, but he manages to get the lap times. This is a good dice. Brandon Good, AJ Fenter and Ronald Slammett, we've seen them finish on the podium and come close to winning races plenty of times, so it just shows you the depth of quality that we've got in the Super GP field now. What, we got 29 bikes on the grid? Super GP and the 1000cc class is back.
And Slammett also making the move to R1, so also not quite to grips with the machinery that we saw last year. Remember, he's been on BMW for a long time, and now part and parcel of that Helderberg Yamaha team. So him and Alex van den Berg doing a great job, particularly the Red Baron. Here comes Lancelot though. I'm just looking at the way that the configuration of the pipes are as well. I picked up on it earlier on. When I saw Clint Seller's bike, it looks like his exhaust pipe might be slightly lower than what you'd expect on an R1. I don't know if that's just something, look at that,
yeah,
it's almost
scraping
onto the ground. I don't know if something's come loose there. It's not affecting the pace of the bike. He's certainly getting the drive out of it. Maybe even improving it slightly, to be very honest. But it's just something I picked up on. I might be wrong, but that pipe is certainly lower than what I expected it to be in terms of the R1 configuration of the bikes behind him and the riders that are running the Yamaha machinery a little bit further back.
Those watching this, do yourself a favor, go to the NASA's racing page and watch the onboard footage of Clint Seller around the Killarney circuit. It's his hot lapping qualifying. You will be amazed. If you want to learn about lines, hitting apexes and taking the corners the right way, watch that video. It is incredible to see the corner speed, and just listen to the tone of that R1. Watch how he gets it into the turn. There's no room for error. As soon as he's in the turn, the brake is off and he's on that gas. So just listen out and watch that video. You'll learn so much, I can promise you. And speaking about learning, Greg Caldenace is going to have to defend and learn how to defend here, because Lance Isaacs is charging down. Watch for these two riders when we get to the bike festival at Killarney. The Kawasaki and the BMW will be able to just stretch their legs a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure they'll be closer to the R1s out front.
Yeah, I remember with SA Bike Festival at Killarney, it's only Super GPs that'll be in the house. None of the 600s or 300, 390 bikes will be there. Only the 1000s. So we're in for an epic weekend that weekend as well. All part and parcel of the SA Bike Festival at Killarney. So just big things happening this year with Super GP, getting involved with festivals and bike weeks and everything around the country. It's so good to see, and it just shows why all of these riders are coming to be part and parcel of the Super GP Champions Trophy.
Lance last year battled with end of the race grip and stability out of that BMW. It looks like they've got that Superbets BMW now sorted, because he's able to close down now in the closing stages of the race, something he hasn't been able to do for the last couple of seasons. So BMW certainly doing the work, and maybe with McFadden back in the championship, those two riders, because remember Lance has pretty much been the sole and the fastest BMW rider over the last couple of seasons. So with McFadden, those two can exchange information and get those BMWs closer to the front of the field, and we're seeing that. McFadden leg out style, bike number 69. Remember how fast he was a couple of years ago, winning the championship in the 600 class and in the 1000 category. So we know that he's got the right stuff to challenge Clint Seller out front. But at the moment, the My Way bike is unstoppable.
Yeah, he's just got to find that extra bit of pace, particularly here in Cape Town, considering the fact that, Isaacs has got to third. I was about to say that Isaacs and McFadden have got local knowledge. Isaac spends a huge amount of time down here, but he also spends a massive amount of time up north with us here in Gauteng. So definitely having to get his work cut out for him. That pipe is almost off the motorcycle. I got to tell you something. It's getting worse and worse. They're coming up onto the back end. Looks like Johnny Cricker might be closed in and caught here in the closing stages. Blue flag starting to wave. Is that Cricker? No. It's Gillison. Sorry, Justin Gillison first and foremost. He'll be caught and passed by
Good job.
easily done. Just moving out the way nicely, giving the My Way bike a chance to sneak through. So Justin Gillison will have to do one less lap. He'll be starting the final lap here is Seller as he comes through there and gets the go-ahead. David McFadden on his tail. Not able to bridge the gap, but happy probably to settle for second place. Although I suppose when we speak to him afterwards, he's going to say, no, listen, I don't settle for second. I will only go for race wins here. I've got to find something special on my RPM Center and Santon Auto BMW to make sure I can close in on this Yamaha R1.
He's only about half a second off the pace, so doesn't have a lot to find. But yeah, now this is definitely the battle on track. Can Greg Caldenes put that new RR machine on the podium for the first time? You can bet your life that Lance Isaacs is going to defend more than he's ever defended in his whole life. He's got the horsepower to defend down the straight. It's all about latest of the late breakers going into the final turn. At the moment, Isaacs, you can see, he gets the bike in, squirts that power on, stands that bike up. Remember, World Superbike experience for Lance Isaacs, so he knows what is needed to defend and to get podium positions here. Easy ride this now for Dave McFadden. He'll pick up a comfortable second place, but it's all about this battle, and Caldenes has made the move now up into third place, back again. So this is going to go down to the wire. Isaacs won't be too upset with that. He's in the slipstream now, using the horsepower of that BMW. You can see how close it is coming across the line. Will he make the move on the brakes going into turn one? Does he have enough? Yes, he does. Lance Isaacs with the Rossi replica helmet doing what Rossi does best, and that is fight back straight away.
Yeah, just coming back and showing Caldenes the way to go. Now they head down towards turn number 2. Coming up on those back markers, remember, coming up on his teammate. So hopefully going to use his teammate. I don't know if Justin's
a big guy.
Yeah, he won't realize that Lance is coming and he's got in a battle. He's going to have to just move out the way. But as they head down towards Rose Foundation Sweep now, Caldenes trying to find a way back at him.
Defensive.
Transport.co.za, Creepy Crawley and Auto House Towing are his sponsors. Super Bets and of course Santon Auto Motorrad are the sponsors of Lance Isaacs.
That's a nice place.
Oh, and he gets right behind his team. Well done, Justy. I think he saw the blue flag. So the Killarney Marshal's doing a great job to warn Justin that those two riders were coming. Now Caldenes in the ideal position. He's in the slipstream of Lance Isaacs. Can he pull out? Is he good enough on the brakes to beat the Cape Town man into Cape Town corner? Can he do it? Yes, he can. Wow, good job there. Greg Caldenes. Double G is in the house fighting with Sir Lancelot.
Now, this is a world-class battle. Both riders with international experience. Both riders have plenty of experience here in local national racing, have been in the top 3 or top 4 in the championships, I think, the past 10 years or so. So we know the turn of pace that they've got. Sella comfortably out front. They've just gone past Johnny Kricher on the Hygienica back Lacquer Racing BMW machine there. Dave McFadden in second, like you said, will be happy with the 20 points, but will want to be a lot closer to Sella out front. This is the battle on track, though. You can see Isaacs unable to carry the full amount of corner speed that he wants. He's going a little bit more defensive than I think he would like. You can see defending that line on the inside. Caldenes trying to get the more wide swooping line to get that Kawasaki stood up, squirted on the power. Traction control on these bikes, they'll be set on about 1. The riders not wanting too much interruption from the bike, will be wanting to use the right wrist as much as possible.
Well, you can see just behind them and actually just picking up on the shot. There he comes, Magic Michael White and Trevor Westman. The
Great
killer
ride.
is there as well, trying to get in the toe. Well, he doesn't have one toe after a big crash a couple of weeks ago, but
yes.
certainly with a shot of closing in on Magic Mike. So yeah, just keep that up, eh?
You evil man.
I couldn't resist, I'm sorry. All right, across the line they go. This should be to start the final lap. Sella is going to be in the house. He's not going to be caught and passed by, of course, the hard-charging David McFadden. And look at Sella's
Tell
bike.
him that.
Oh, I don't know. Hey, he's still giving
Tell
it everything
him
he
that.
can. Got through on Kricher. Here comes McFadden for second. McFadden may have just seen that and think to himself, hang on a second, there's still a shot here of getting to the top end of the podium, and Isaac's just maintaining the defensive position to keep out Greg Caldenes.
You can see as soon as he clamps the brakes on that Superbets BMW, he closes the door, not allowing Caldenes to get anywhere near that inside line. So Caldenes, he's got to get the drive now coming onto the back straight, get in the slipstream of the BMW rider and make the move into the final turn. How many times have we seen races won and lost here, and podiums won and lost going into that final turn?
Well, looks like he's in the ideal position.
Yeah,
Let's see if he gets into the slipstream now, down that back straight, a bit further back here. You can see the rest of the field starting to sort things out. It's Sella in amongst some of the back markers, coming to the flag. The checkered flag is waiting here. Clint Sella is going to take the first victory of the season, doing it to perfection, taking the win and coming across the line way ahead of David McFadden. He's going to be a happy man, and Evil Knievel is back. He's certainly going to show exactly what it takes to get the new sponsors onto the top step for the first time of asking. It's a drag race to the line here. Oh, Isaacs is going to hang on, only just.
Jeez.
Very close. Very, very close. Isaacs gets the third spot and comes through to beat Greg Caldenes to the line. Magic Bike comes through for 5th place for Consortium Shipping. Then it's Trevor Westman for the Mad Max Kawasaki, Lacquer Racing and Hygienica Yamaha of Alan John Fenter in 7th place, ahead of the Linex Yamaha Brandon Good, Slam It in 9, and Calvert on the Ducati in 10th place.
There's bike number 3, My Way Yamaha and Assus Racing rider Clint Sella, back on the top step of the podium where he wants to be, and I think a new lap record as well. So far, perfect day, pole position, race 1 win and lap record for Clint Sella as he gets the trophy there from Carl Schultz. Lance Isaacs a brilliant 3rd place and leading master with McFadden in 2nd place.
First of all, before anything else, I've got to say thank you to the guys that have made this all possible. Superbets, Santon BMW Motorrad, BMW Motorrad South Africa and Fuchs Lube and the rest of all my sponsors. The guys pulled together. It was a stressful time. It's not easy being a team owner and a rider. And I must say, today this first race has actually just made everything, all the blood, sweat and tears worthwhile. There's an excellent turnout in the field this weekend. SuperGP, the guys from GAS have done an excellent job in getting all the guys on the grid. Well done to them. I hope we continue to see all of this throughout the season with stacked field and the racing as excellent as it was today. I think any one of the top 6 guys can win this championship, and I must say I had a great race with Greg Killarney. Unfortunately, David and Clint got away a little bit too quickly. I was tussling with Michael White and Darren Upton. But you know what? Good racing. It's all worth standing on the SuperGP podium once again. And now it's just to climb to that top step. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some races where I'm going to be on that top step.
At the start of the race, we had some pace. Unfortunately, yesterday we had a terrible day blowing a gearbox on the bike, and Yamahas are going well. But I don't think it's going to be long. We're going to give that pink Yamaha a go for its money. It's really disappointing to get hose-piped at your home race, but we're going to come back stronger and smash them.
Looking forward to that one, because I mean, it wasn't too far off. You had the lap times initially, but just couldn't bridge it as he got away. But more importantly, is no one could stay with you.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, at least we know we got to compete against one guy at the moment, and we'll get there. We got something to work forward to. Luckily, there's no one behind us. Once I saw the race was done, I settled, and we'll change the strategy and come stronger in race 2.
Every single lap, bar 1 and bar 15. Were in the 10s, and a new unofficial right now lap record of a 10-2 around you. You were on fire, buddy.
Yeah, it was good. Credit to my team. The bike's unbelievable, and that was on an old tire. We haven't put a new tire yet. So, but it was a good race. It was a hard race. It's all by yourself the whole time. So but it's how I like to ride, if I'm honest. So I just put my head down, ticked the laps away. Seemed like they took a lot longer than I was hoping, but credit to the officials and the GAS guys, because separating the grids really was, it made the race so much easier for me, not so scary, and I think everyone enjoyed it, and we put on a decent show there.
No doubt about it. If you look at what the thousands were doing, it was pretty much like a 600 race. You were mixing it up at the start. Yes, you got away, but if you saw the race that was behind you, man, you would have loved to have been in there as well.
Yeah, I'm sure I could. We can hear all the on the brakes going into turn 1 and turn 2 and that. So I just try to tick away my race there. Unfortunately, I glazed my pads like on the warm-up lap, so the whole race I glazed brakes. But anyway, we managed to work around it, so it was good.
Good start to the season.
Yeah, that's it. We're here for. We know why we're here, so we're going to keep going.
We certainly know why we're here as well. Lance Isaacs getting the Masters top step of the podium alongside Heinrich Rieder. Unfortunately, Hendrik de Bruin had to catch an early plane to get home. But we go straight into race number 2 now. And here we go. 5-second board is out, lights go out, and we go racing down towards turn 1. Is it Seller who gets the whole shot? It looks like it is. The My Way Yamaha going side by side with Greg Killarney into KFM corner. Killarney slots into second. McFadden and Isaacs side by side. 2 BMWs, both out of Santon Motorrad. And it looks like Isaacs might just win the battle to turn 2.
Yeah, some elbow bashing there from the 2 BMW riders, but it looks like it is McFadden trying to make the move. No, it's Killarney up into second. So good start again for Greg Killarney, using that launch control that is on that RR machine. Michael White, a little bit of better start there, running just behind Isaacs in 5th place. I know Michael White, after this race, unfortunately you'll be getting your head shaved because you have lost a bet. Just behind him there, Carrick Flock on the Shop 74 bike. Oh, how else do we know Carrick Flock then going out of the seat there, riding that Yamaha R1 machine for the first time, so still getting to grips with it. Gareth Laverick, used to seeing him a lot higher, but first time here at Cape Town, so just behind Andre Kalvik there on the beautiful Ducati machine, and great to see the Italian manufacturer out here in SuperGP.
Panigale. Yes, we've got a Panigale in
S.
the SuperGPs. Yes, it's the S. Sorry, I must mention it's the S.
Panigale.
Right, Shop 74 with 64 on the machine, and Carrick Flock going at it and fighting hard there with Westman. Westman now coming under attack there from Slamet behind them. You can see things starting to sort themselves out in the mid-pack of the SuperGP race. The top 3 getting away. Greg Killarney, as always, a super starter. Not as quick as Seller, but he's right on Seller's tail now, and he'll try and stay with Seller to try and get away from the rest of the field. If he does that, he can get away from McFlash, but McFadden is coming, and look at how he gets under the brakes and so late into turn 2.
Greg Killarney with a Kevin Schwantz-esque number 34 there. Much better start. Look how close he is now to the My Way Yamaha. So Killarney, he'll be getting some confidence from this after not the race one that he would have wanted, finishing off the podium on that creepy crawly Transport.co.za Kawasaki machine. but much better start now, right with Sella. The wind has picked up once again, so these riders will have to take that into account. Look at that, Michael White now ahead of Lance Isaacs. So Isaacs has made a mistake or something somewhere, because that SuperBets BMW rider is not where he wants to be, miles off the lead now. He was on the podium in race number 1. It's going to be a tough task to get that podium now in race number 2.
RPM, Santon Auto BMW there in third place, closing in on that. Oh, and putting a knee down on the dirt. So did Michael White. Magic Mike using the dirty stuff coming through at the exit of turn 5. They crossed the line, a complete lap number 2, and wow, what a start to this race. Sella probably won't be able to get the lap record in again this time. The wind is going to be the big factor that will hinder him slightly, but a 12.2 in race number 1 just sets an all-out lap record for motorcycles around this track. It's the third fastest time ever around here, so he's certainly got what it takes here this weekend, and he's looking to get the job done right from the word go. It's going to go for 2 for 2 here if he can stay ahead of Greg Kildernace and McFlash. It's not going to be an easy job to do that. Second battle starting to heat up. Isaac's back ahead of Magic Mike. Michael White on the Consortium Shipping Yamaha R1. And Ridgeway Race Bar, of course, behind that machine as well. We had the launch there only a couple of nights ago, and he's now starting to apply the pressure onto Isaacs.
Greg, I've been in this situation before. Yeah, racing Killarney on these 200 horsepower plus superbikes with the wind. It is not an easy task. So these guys really are gladiators. You can see Trevor Westman there just behind Michael White there. So great start there from the Mad Max Kawasaki. Look at Carrick Flock on the inside there of Brandon Good. The two Yamahas battling hard there, and it looks like he's made the move. Michael White, like I said, not the day that he would have wanted. He's going to try and pick up as many points as he can, because we know when you get down to East London, the likes of Red Star and PE, where he won last year, it's all about getting the points ahead of these three guys ahead of him. These championship rivals, Clint Sella, Greg Killarney, still doing a good job, knee in the dirt there, just spraying those stones into the face of David McFadden as they go into turn 2 now. And look at that, Clint Sella already starting to pull a little bit of a gap now. So this is definitely going to go down to the battle for second and third place between the two former champs, Kildernace and McFadden.
Now the reason that Sella's pulling away is these two are fighting so hard against each other, and Greg's going to have to go defensive to keep McFadden out. Might not be such a good idea. Maybe he should just let McFadden through and try and stay with his pace and get that little bridge gap there. It's not going to be an easy task, there's no doubt about it. Isaac's still there in fourth place, or is he? Oh, yeah, he's just ahead. Westman starting to close in. Trevor Westman actually looking like he could be the most dangerous man on track right now, closing in on Magic Michael White. Michael White, keep those eyes on the rearview mirrors. Here's a move for second, makes it relatively easily. And maybe Greg Kildernace heard me. He's going to allow McFadden through and try and run with McFadden to close up on Sella.
Yeah, in this windy conditions at a track like Killarney, it's much better following than leading. So Kildernace, I don't think he'll be too upset with that. Here comes Ronald Slammert after a terrible start. He must have had a problem and ran off somewhere, because he's dicing there with Dylan Barnard, the second of the Consortium Shipping Yamaha R1 machines, making the step up from Super 600s. So first time out in the Super GP class, doing a good job there. As McFadden now, you can see the different lines that the Cape Town rider takes over the Joburg man there in third place. So Kildernace is going to do everything he can now to try and stay just behind the BMW rider there. Sella's got a lead, but one mistake from that Marway bike, and these two are right onto the tailpipes of him. So he's still got to be careful. That pit board will be showing him about a second lead that he's got. So no room for error at the moment for the rider out front.
Top three getting away from the rest of the field. Lance Isaacs doesn't have an answer to them this time. He's going to have to settle for probably the fourth place. He'll still win the Masters. And when I say settled, it's not done yet, because Magic Mike is right there, as is the killer. Westman on the Mad Max Kawasaki there in sixth place. Alan John Fenter just behind them. Then you've got Carrick Flock and Brandon Good fighting for the last single digits on track. And Andre Calvert still in the shot with a possible double top 10 victory, and that'll be a victory for him on that Panigale.
Yeah, Kershaw just behind them, Gareth Laverick, Alex van den Berg, Ronald Slammert, not the day he would have won. Gerrit Visser, the Samurai team, getting that bike sorted for race number 2. Dylan Barnard, Dale Field, Ricky Lee Weir, Hendrik de Bruin, and Ackerman, Johnny Kricher, and Justin Gillison just behind them. Heinrich Reda, unfortunately, with problems on his bike, so he won't be up on the Masters podium. Look at, who was that? Michael White, I think.
Yeah.
That was elbow in the dirt stuff there from bike number 58 on the Consortium Shipping Yamaha. So he's doing everything he can. Much better job after a disappointing race number 1. He's right on the tailpipe there of the SuperBets BMW rider, but trying to find a way past him is a whole nother story in itself.
Now, what I want you to do is actually go and have a look at that Aero helmet he's got. I think it might have been his Aero helmet that was on the dirt there.
Probably.
We've got that shot of him at Red Star, of course, with the rock star in his hand going through, I think, turn 4, turn 5.
Yeah.
That's just a mental rider, that young boy, but certainly has got what it takes to win races, and I think we're going to see potential top of the podium step for him at some point in the season. Magic Michael White going to be fighting hard for that, there's no doubt about it. He's fighting hard right now with Sir Lancelot, and Isaacs, well, unfortunately, hasn't been able to get that gap closed down. Still a long way to go here. Still got a bit of laps in hand, but I think the wind is the major factor here that's going to stop him from catching Greg Killarney in third.
Yeah, McFadden is coming. Sella is definitely not having it all his own way as he did in race number 1, because Dave McFadden is just closing a tenth or two at a time. So that'll just be putting pressure on Sella. If Sella can come across the line and his pit board goes from a second to 0.9 to 0.8, that really does pile the pressure. We know Sella can handle pressure. He's done it so many times, 4 times in fact. He's had that number 1 plate, going for a 5th SA title. So really is incredible effort from Sella, and he wants to pick up the double win for his new sponsor. But this is pretty much the battle on track now, with the top 3 almost settled, with McFadden slowly closing down. But it's all about Michael White and of course Lance Isaacs, with Trevor Westman not too far behind. The leading regional rider could pick up a top 4, top 5. Here's that all Yamaha battle. That's AJ Fenter just ahead there of Brandon Good and Carrick Flock. So a good dice there between those riders, and that is Nick Kershaw and Andre Calvert on the Ducati just behind them, rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, the top 10 battle here definitely up for grabs, and the last single-digit battle too between these Yamahas. Brandon Good trying to keep out Flock. Flock doing a super job there for Shop 74, and trying to close down on the Hygienica Racing Man. I tell you what, Alan John Fenter, he's not going to the Isle of Man this year. He's concentrating on his championship and trying to get as high up in the Super GP Championship as he can. We know how good he is. Change up again here. Michael White just squeezing through on the Super Bets man, and Isaac's probably going to let him go through. Isaacs will know that at this stage of the race, being behind the rider is better. You mentioned it earlier on, and hopefully he'll be able to just get ahead when it comes down to that final lap.
I know the BMW is a couple of kilos heavier than the Yamaha, so maybe in these windy conditions, Lance Isaacs just battling now with the wind because of the slight, it's literally a couple of kilos, and the Yamaha works so well on worn tyres. So Michael White making the move, but as I say, that Lance Isaacs, as he did in race number 1, as soon as he gets past, he passes straight back. So using the experience there is Lance Isaacs. He wants to pick up as many points as he can, going into East London where he knows he's got a chance at that overall win using the horsepower of that BMW.
I can't wait to see that. Hey?
Yeah,
these motorcycles at the end of the straight, Rob, picking up on some of the GPSs during qualifying. Clint Seller was telling me 289 kilometers an hour onto the braking markers into Cape Town corner. By the time we go through Rifle and into Copacabana, but if we don't have wind, these things are going to reach 300 k's an hour, probably
easy.
even over.
Easy.
And these are stock road bikes, buddy.
Yeah, with pretty much Pirelli road rubber that you can go and buy. There are road track tires that you can go buy at your local dealer. So Pirelli doing an incredible job at supplying these guys with the grip that they need out on track. And Michael White, he's now behind the Superbets rider again. You can see the rear end of that consortium shipping Yamaha working overtime as he asks for the power. He'll have traction control set on about 1, wheelie control switched off, and slide control set on about 1 or 2 on that Yamaha. So many electronic aids that these bikes have got. Sella, the way he rides, you think he's got traction control on -10 because he gets the drive out of the turns, and My Way bike doing an incredible job here today. Looks like Michael White just doesn't have an answer now for Lance Isaacs on that BMW machine, and he's going to have to settle for another 5th place finish there. But it's good points in the bag. Remember, it's a long season, so it's all about collecting as many points as you can out of round number 1.
Well, there's the man who's going to finish up at the top end by the looks of things, or the double victory on the day there for the My Way, Portable Shade, and Nasus Racing and Neolife Yamaha team. But just further back there, we picked up on, of course, number 60, Trevor the Killer Westman. He's going to be leading out the regional championship honours here. So not a bad day in the saddle there for the Mad Max Kawasaki team. And I'm sure that they're going to be stoked with that. Change up here. Carrick Flock back ahead of Brandon Good. Good fighting still there. Hasn't given up just yet. Remember, they're fighting for 8th and 9th place on track just behind Alan John Fenter. There you can see Fenter just through the shot. Pulled a little bit of a gap now. I think between these two, the little fight they're having is allowing Fenter to get away.
Definitely. It just shows you the depth that we've got in the Super GP class with a guy like AJ Fenter down in 7th. Remember, he's picked up wins and plenty of podiums in this category, but still sorting out that Yamaha. Remember, preseason testing is all good and well, but racing, there is no better practice than racing. And doing it the best of all of them is Clint Seller across the line. Double victory for the day ahead of the local man. Dave McFadden will be happy with the 40 points that he's picked up, and a much better ride from the creepy crawly transport.co.za round. That's on the Kawasaki RR machine. Greg Caldenace, good points for him now as the 2 riders come across. A beautiful burnout there, and that pipe looks a little bit better than it did in race number 1. Seller ahead of McFadden, Caldenace, Isaacs in 4th, White in 5th, Westman first of the regional riders in 6th, AJ Fenter, Carrick Flock, Brandon Good, Andre Calvert rounding out your top 10. Nicholas Kershaw just outside there, Gareth Laverick, and another local rider, Alex van der Berg.
There you can see the final bit of Pirelli rubber being exhausted and shown to the crowd, but they love that here in Cape Town. The more burnouts, the better. But super ride nonetheless from Evel Knievel. Double podium, double victory, and a new outright lap record there for the My Way Yamaha team. You can see how happy they are. We're going to get him up onto the top step of the podium again. And there you see him, Evel Knievel to the top. Second place there for David McFadden. A double second for him. And a nice third place. And a return onto the podium for Double G. So there you have all the trophies being handed out there. Raymond Beeston from Pirelli handing out the top step. And of course, our Clearwater Logistics trophy going to the rider of the day. And that'll be Kinsella. Incredible effort from him with a double victory. And of course, that lap record. We're looking forward to seeing these boys go all out in round number 2 of the SuperGP Champions Trophy down at the East London Grand Prix circuit. It's at the end of the month. We're looking forward to seeing all of that. And we hope you're going to come and join us for Africa Bike Week.
We came down here with the new bike. We hardly rode it. We only rode it at the track. Unlike some other teams who rented the track before the heat, which is not normal. That's why they had such a big gap. I thought it would have been a little bit closer, but my team put in a phenomenal effort this weekend, with the new bike. We got it each session, 0.2, a little bit quicker. I'd just like to thank them, and I think there's things to come with our new motorbike.
Yeah, for sure we need to improve the bike. We haven't had that much time on the bike, and can't say I'm happy or not happy at the moment. At least we got a result, we got some information on the bag, but we'll come back much stronger for the next round. We won a lot more. I'm not happy to settle for second, and we just need to work on the bike to improve for the next race.
It's awesome. Nice to give the boys back. all the hard work they put into the off season. I think last year we were a little bit sore and stung, and that definitely the work that Brad and Alfie and My Way coming on is just huge. It's an awesome sponsor, great bunch of people, and I want to put them at the top step of the podium. So that's the game plan.
Lance Isaac's on the top step again for Masters. He finishes up ahead of Heinrich Rieder, and a good effort there from Johnny Cricker to finish third. Wow, what a great day's racing for you. Not only from a BMW point of view, you've gone well overall as well. So improvements happening all round.
Champagne showers all around, especially for the team. I say this every time. I can't thank my guys enough. Dean, James, Garth, Justin, everybody's just pitched in to make this season happen. My guys at SuperBet, it was down to the wire with them. I'm really stoked that they've jumped on board. Santon, BMW Motorrad, they've just upped the ante with me, and they put so much faith in me, and BMW South Africa as well. It truly is an honor, especially this late in my career. And I think the results show that are pretty much testament to the fact that I've still got the pace in me. I know I do have a lot more pace in me. Super GP podium is there, and it's mine for the taking. Its second race actually showed me a lot. I made a little change, slightly backwards in the first 2 laps of the race, but I was clawing back a second a lap to Greg Hildenace in third on the Super GP podium. But yeah, I learnt a lot this weekend. We only had one weekend's testing on the bike before this first race, so I'm super excited. The SuperBets and Santon BMW Motorrad S1000RR is going to be a force to be reckoned with this season.
All right, big guy, take us through the running wide at turn 1.
Yeah, look, I lost my knee slider, and I thought I'll go further on, and I looked down and I realised I missed my brake marker, so I had to go straight.
Yeah, fortunately this time you were standing upright, because the last time you went straight there, it wasn't pretty.
No, it wasn't at all. I went home with a broken motorbike and everything, but everything went fine this year for this year, for the first meeting. I'm happy for the first heat, and let's see, hopefully it'll be a good year for me,
But it's good to have you back in the Super GP.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. I mean, it's like, I'm looking after myself this year, and I think it's going to be a fantastic year with Gas.
With a split in the field, it was great to be with the top riders. It shows the caliber of riding you can do. You must be pretty happy with the performance today.
Oh, great. First race went a bit better. Second race, a little bit windier, so times are a little bit off, but yeah, great to be with the quicker guys. I think it better times by second and a half from last year, so yeah, all good.
From the team's point of view, some good riding from AJ, some great riding from you, a podium as well, which is always good. Sponsors must be happy.
Oh, it's great. I'd just like to thank Centurion Yamaha, thank Gas for the event. It's nice to be in AJ's team. We've got a youngster that also done quite well today, done his personal best here. AJ's second race mixed it up a bit, so it all went good.
big thanks to Diode and all our associate sponsors for this action from Cape Town and round 1 of the Diode SuperGP Champions Trophy.